Hello, good morning. Welcome, everybody, to the MedTech Conference 101. I'm so glad that you guys are here. My name is Erin Lee. I am Senior Vice President of Marketing and Customer Experience for AvaMed and the MedTech Conference. We are sitting here at July 29th and a little under 3 months to go for the MedTech Conference. So thank you for joining us. We're going to really give you a lot of highlights today on what's new, why to attend, and you're going to walk away with a checklist. So let's jump into the agenda. So I'll give you a bit of an overview of what the 4 days look like, a little bit about us, AvaMed, who attends, our schedule at a glance. And then my colleague Nancy will go into some information about the MedTech campus, our awesome education program that just got announced last week. And we'll walk you through lots of opportunities. If you are anybody working in the MedTech space, we have something for you. And then, of course, we'll give you some speaker highlights. And I don't want to steal her thunder, but Nancy is going to give you something that you can only hear first. So make sure you stay all the way through the webinar. And then towards the end, I'm also going to give you guys a preview of who's already locked in, who's already signed up, who you're going to be in the room with when you join us in Boston. So again, I am Erin Lee, Head of Marketing and Customer Experience for AvaMed. I'll be joined by my colleague, Nancy Creel. She has been at AvaMed for more than 12 years, so she is a pro. And Nancy and her team and a number of subject matter experts have been working tirelessly on a really amazing, timely, and informative education program. And she's going to walk you through a lot of that and everything going on the MedTech campus. So before I dive in, just wanted to say thank you again to you all for joining us from all corners of both the US and the world. And we couldn't do what we do without our partners. So just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out. We are thrilled to be back in Boston. The last time we were there is in 2022. So we're thrilled to be back. And thank you to our partner, Mathematic, Brian Johnson, and many others there in the Boston community and all over Massachusetts, and then, of course, the Northeast. And then, as you know, if you're not familiar with the MedTech Conference, we like to travel around. So we're on the East Coast this year, but we love our partners in California and in Canada. So thank you to Biocom, CLS, and MedTech Canada. And we will be back in San Francisco next year. So we are really thrilled to have such incredible MedTech partners who are instrumental in hosting the event. You'll see them all week in our MedTech campus, throughout our program, exhibiting, showing technology, and many of the CEOs from these companies will also be attending. And many of these companies are sending teams, and I'll give you a preview of what that looks like. But thank you to our sponsors. They're so incredible and great partners with us. And speaking of partners, we've been working over the last several months and making sure that what we do and what we design for you working in the medtech industry is relevant, informative, and kind of on the cusp of what's hot within medtech. And we really do that with three very important groups. So thank you to our steering committee. There's several of you who are so vocal and have such great ideas, led by Mike Mahoney, Ashley McVoy, and John Renner. So thank you to them, fearless leaders, and you will also see them on stage at the MedTech Conference. So Brian Johnson heads up our host and local committee, and then Sanal oversees our program committee. So thank you to them. And honestly, their input really is a driving force behind what we've designed for you. So a little bit about the MedTech Conference. We are so thrilled to bring it back to Boston. There really is something for everybody working in MedTech. And it is hosted by AvaMed, where we work here in Washington, D.C. That's where our headquarters is for our global organization. We're very proud to represent more than 600 companies from small to large, working in medtech. And as an advocacy organization, we really are inspired to be your leader. And year round, we are your advocate and your voice for really important topics. We host a number of events year round. We offer a number of resources for anybody working in medtech. So please reach out if you're interested in learning more about AvaMed, but we're really excited to be your partner in this effort. So, if you really wanted 6 tips on why you should attend this year, this slide really gives it all to you. So, what I hear over and over again is that the MedTech Conference offers unparalleled access to the entire MedTech ecosystem. We have really high level participation from VP, CEOs, and above. More than 50% of our attendees come from small and large MedTech companies. But we really have something for everybody from mid-level regulators, people working in government relations, to sales, to marketing. We have engineers, students. Really, we have something for everybody, and I'll give you a snapshot of that. We are very much a business development event. It's where MedTech business gets done. So we have programming that's designed to attract investors. We offer several different ways to see companies live on stage through different company presentation programs. So we'll give you an overview of that. And then we're really powered by our one-on-one partnering system that's really designed to help you in 2 ways, to help you curate your agenda, and then also to help you find companies, express interest, and then ideally schedule a meeting in our one-on-one partnering space within the MedTech campus. So we'll be giving you some preview of that. And then as far as education, there's so much. So if I have one tip for you, it's make sure you spend time planning, listen to Nancy's tips. She's going to walk you through all the speakers that we have lined up. But it really is cross-cutting across 20 different sectors, and really exciting because there's so many important things that we're convening folks around this year. From a global perspective, we are expecting more than 40 countries to be represented. Our largest delegation from Canada, from the UK, and some really growing delegations from Singapore, Japan, India. So thank you all for joining us. When everything's said and done, we are expecting more than 1,800 individual companies. I've been monitoring that company list, and we've already signed up more than 200 new companies already with a number of weeks to go. We'll walk you through the MedTech campus. It's very cool, interactive. You can get a lot done, but the real tip here is to make sure you plan your time. And you will be very inspired to see who you'll meet there and who you'll see on stage. And then again, AdvaMed is really proud to work for you year round. There's 80 of my colleagues here in Washington, D.C. who are advocating for you every single day. So thank you. All right, so breaking the event down, we already talked about access to global leaders. We're expecting more than 4,000 people to be in Boston with us across 40 countries. We really hope that the one-on-one partnering business development platform is really helpful, but really encourage you to think about this from a company to company perspective. We definitely see teams benefit by bringing more people so they can be in more than one place and schedule meetings, attend education sessions, attend networking sessions. So we'll walk you through some companies that you're going to meet within the campus and then throughout the exhibit floor, exhibiting within our pavilions, and then presenting on stage. They are all over. And then again, we'll walk you through a highlight of our education. On our website, we have a number of resources. We have a why attend page, but I love to see testimonials fresh from investors, from small companies who really pride themselves and really validate why they invest their time and their team's time and their resources to come to the conference every year because they see value. All right, so let's jump into who attends. So here is kind of a breakdown, if you look at it from left to right, of the job functions, the industry sectors represented, very much cross-cutting. We know several of you, especially folks who work on global teams for multinational companies, you might wear many hats and be focused on a handful of these areas, or you might be a small MedTech company CEO who's wearing a number of job function hats. So we would love to see all of you, and we've really designed this event with you in mind. And then again, here's a snapshot of where we are. We do see that mid-level part of the pie chart growing because we offer so much education and the ability for you to walk away with resources that you can apply to your job. But more than 50% are CEOs, VPs, and above. And definitely want to stress our awesome opportunities that we've been growing over the last few years for students in early careers as well as veterans. So I'll be walking you through what some of those look like. So just to give you a sense of the countries represented and kind of how you'll see them activate at the conference, the ones with bold and with the asterisks, you're going to see them either exhibiting, presenting on the program, or they are officially bringing a delegation to the conference. So we are just really inspired to see this. International participation is really looking good this year. As far as an early indicator, we're seeing very strong interest to travel to Boston. So make sure you think about registering. Okay, so I talked about how strong we retain VPs and CEOs from medtech companies, but I also wanted to show you the breadth and depth from these large medtech companies of the different titles that you can see represented: reimbursement, public affairs, a president of orthopedics, investor relations, regulatory affairs, government affairs, you name it. So as you make the decision to attend, we just encourage you to maybe earmark some sessions of interest, or please share the opportunity with some of your colleagues. Again, this makes sure that not only you see value as an individual, but that your company sees maximum value from a business development perspective. All right, so let's look at the schedule. And Nancy, make sure to jump in here if I missed something. But if you're familiar with the event, it kicks off with a very full day on Sunday, a good amount of programming throughout the day with special programs and international spotlight. And Nancy will walk you through that shortly. And we're really excited to bring back our startup pitch competition. We launched that last year. A little bit of there's a prize awarded, and we'll walk you through that a little bit later. But that really is a great opportunity for small companies, and that actually is still open. So we'll walk you through that in a minute. And then our investor forum programming also kicks off on Sunday. But the thing to note around Sunday is that's when our global welcome reception kicks off. So we encourage you to arrive on Saturday if you're traveling internationally, or plan to arrive very early on Sunday, because everything really kicks off and everybody has been arriving that day. And then we're followed by full days of programming all day long on Monday and Tuesday. The exhibit hall is open all day on Monday, all day on Tuesday, and a half day on Wednesday. And we really just encourage you to familiarize yourself with our schedule. All networking events hosted by AvaMed will be across the street or hosted within the MedTech campus, and we'll make sure you have those previews as well. So taking a layer deeper, networking is critical to business, and we know how important face-to-face relationship building is now more than ever. So we encourage you to try to make sure that you earmark time for networking. So I already walked you through Sunday and Monday. And I guess the big difference that I would underscore for you is that Monday we're considering our open night. So make sure to pay attention. Our receptions are very early in the evening on the exhibit floor. So that gives you time to schedule a dinner, to host your own reception off campus. But we encourage you, if you are hosting something, just to keep our schedule in mind and not to schedule anything that conflicts. And then, of course, always on. Partnering happens all day, Monday, Tuesday, and a half day on Wednesday. So it's always going on. And you want to make sure that you mark your calendar availability, and we'll make sure that you have all the information you need around how to have an effective partnering experience. And then, of course, our next gen headquarters, we'll walk you through kind of what that looks like and the opportunities available for any up and comers that you know that are studying engineering, who might be in the healthcare space thinking about a career in medtech. We strongly encourage them to attend, especially if they're in the Boston area. It makes it really easy to come over to the Boston Convention Center. All right. So speaking of schedule, this is a little bit of a demo of what is live right now on our website. You can see it's really easy to click around, to browse. You can filter by sessions and tracks, by category. You can search. So this really helps you get a taste of what we are offering. So this is public on our website right now. You will see that we'll continue to add details. We'll continue to add speakers. Especially on Sunday, you'll see a lot of that get confirmed soon. But really encourage you to spend some time here, browse some of those big medtech names that you're curious about. Nancy, did you want to add anything here? Or are you just
No,
getting?
I think that's a really great segue into some of the programming that we've got and the MedTech Campus preview. So I'll go ahead and jump right in.
All
Thanks for
right.
teeing that all up so nicely. Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy Creel. I'm the Senior Director of Education here at AdvaMed. I lead the content and strategy around speaking, around the education at the event, the schedule, etc. So I'm thrilled to be here with you today when we have recently officially launched that conference program. So we'll go through some highlights on this webinar today. Before we get there, I would love to start with a preview of the MedTech campus. If you're new to the MedTech conference, the campus is really our bustling, active anchor to the event. We feature over 200 booths for you to visit. We have 7 stages that feature compelling content, company pitches, incredible thought leadership. There's an international pavilion. I'll talk a little bit more about the Next Gen headquarters. We have a headshot lounge for those who are interested. And then this is the space too where we enter our keynote theater. So we have a keynote lunch on Monday and Tuesday and a breakfast on Wednesday. So lots of great content. And again, I'll get into the details, but this gives you a nice visual of how some of those stages are mapped out. In addition to content and booths and exhibitors, we have a lot of networking opportunities in this space. We'll have a booth crawl on Monday, a really fun networking sort of reception event. We have an SMTA reception. On Tuesday, we'll have the chairman's cheers, another kind of early evening, 4:30 reception to gather all attendees. And then on Wednesday, we will have a networking lunch to close out the event. We'll be hosting meetups, so gatherings of kind of niche groups throughout this space over the course of the week as well. So that's a good preview, I would say, of the MedTech campus. If you flip to the next slide, here we are. This is a snapshot of some of those spaces where you can see there's a lot of action, stage time, gathering of groups. J&J, for example, just looking for a company photo here of their presence on site. The Next Gen Hub filled with students and early career professionals, and again, some members of the Solventum team. So companies use this space in a variety of different ways, consuming education, partnering, building relationships, and certainly connecting with their own teams. Go ahead and flip to the next slide.
I wanted to make
Oh,
one
sure, go ahead.
addition, just in case, because it is a new feature as of last year. So from a keynote perspective, you do have two options to attend the keynote luncheon live that Nancy walked you through. But we know that people like options. So with a full access registration, you have an option to attend lunch, a networking lunch where you can kind of grab and go, sit down at a table, or invite a colleague. So that is an option if you time is of the essence or you're not able to sit through the full keynote lunch.
Great point. Thanks for sharing that, Erin. And we do like options. This is just a snapshot of some of the incredible companies that have committed to their participation at the conference via thought leadership or exhibits or sponsorship. The comprehensive list is truly impressive and it continues to grow each week. So stay tuned, but this is just a sampling. If we move on to the next slide, the MedTech Conference is truly the premier event for building connections and closing deals in the MedTech sector. Last year, we hosted nearly 3,000 meetings. We expect that number to grow in Boston. So the ask here is we encourage you to mark your calendars. Our partnering app opens on September 9th, and that's when you can get in and start building out your profile and seeking companies that you may want to meet with on site. If we move on to the next slide, small company participation, the MedTech Conference provides a variety of opportunities here. We've talked a little bit about that startup pitch competition. This is a Sunday program built around 8-minute pitches to a panel of judges with a financial award provided at the end. All of this paired with a really fun happy hour. All are invited to attend, and it's an exciting kickoff to the start of the week. We have the Innovation Pavilion. This is a space on the MedTech campus floor. You saw the map a couple slides back. This is an opportunity to engage via turnkey kiosks where we can showcase early stage company technologies and really unique solutions for the industry. Company presentations are an opportunity for organizations to showcase particularly in the startup space and the commercial stage space, for them to showcase their company technologies and the work that they're doing that's unique to the MedTech space. And then finally, the solution showcase stage. This is a unique opportunity specifically for service providers that want to offer some unique solutions to industry challenges. So we ask you to add some of these to your schedule. Peruse the schedule. You'll see the companies that are committed and engaged on these stages. Add them to your schedule and reach out if you're interested in participation. You can see some application deadlines here are coming up very quickly, but if this is of interest to you, do please reach out. If we want to go ahead to the next slide, additional opportunities for startups and small companies are listed here. This is just a little bit more detail about some of those stages around the company presentations, what you can see and experience on the Innovation Pavilion, and then that startup pitch competition. So again, read this in more detail. You'll get the slides after this presentation, and let us know if you have any questions or would like to engage. We partner with the MedTech Innovator MTI program at the MedTech Conference. Listed here is the 65 companies that will present on the MTI stage on the MedTech campus on Monday and Tuesday. Then Tuesday afternoon, MTI will take the keynote stage in the afternoon for their finals, where their finalists will provide short pitches, again, to a panel of judges for a sizable monetary award. What's fun about this one is, as an attendee, as in the audience, you get to vote on which technology, which company has really the strongest presentation in innovative solutions for MedTech. So do plan to join us for these pitches, and then, of course, for the finals on Tuesday afternoon in the keynote theater. The Investor Forum is designed to attract key members of the MedTech and healthcare investment community. We offer complimentary all-access registration for qualified investors. We do ask that they use the partnering system for all of their meetings on site. You can see a list of the investor company categories that are represented here, but in sort of a brief manner, the agenda around the Investor Forum is represented by roughly 150 presenting companies that span startups to public MedTech companies, curated investor programming. We feature education, targeted networking, and then key industry insights for this space. We offer one-on-one partnering to connect with investment prospects with some of the portfolio companies and then other strategic partners. And you can access MedTech innovators through the Innovation Pavilion, company presentations, the startup pitch competition on Sunday, and then, of course, the MTI Showcase that we have already discussed. So quite a bit of content around the Investor Forum, again, this year in Boston. On the next slide, we offer corporate reverse pitch presentations, and these are 15-minute presentations from global business and corporate development executives focusing on company strategic priorities. This is a sampling of the participating companies that have confirmed again for 2026 in Boston. In all, we anticipate roughly 20 to 25 reverse pitch presentations. These are always compelling and draw a nice crowd to hear what some of these large company strategics are interested in down the line. The next slide provides a list of investors and banks that have confirmed to participate this year and attend the conference. Do review this list. Plan to schedule your meetings for Boston. This is a compelling list, and we hope you'll take some time looking at it and determining where you'd like to schedule some meetings. One other area to note, AdvaMed hosts the Next Gen headquarters. This area of the MedTech campus is intended to really build awareness of MedTech as the industry of choice, strengthening that future workforce pipeline for MedTech. We're looking to really eliminate some of the barriers to accessing professional industry events for students and for early career professionals. So for those who qualify, there's a significantly reduced rate to attend and really start to engage in order to understand the breadth of the careers available in MedTech and opportunities to participate in a MedTech industry conference for the very first time. So if this applies to you, again, feel free to reach out. We can let you know what next steps might look like. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and shift to a bit more of the education overview, and we can move on to the next slide. Opportunities for attendees to access really high quality education at the MedTech Conference are vast, and the content is really varied in format in the way that it's delivered throughout the event. We have panel sessions featuring conversations around hot topics and pressing issues that are really led by the industry's top experts. We have company presentations, again, sharing of some of the innovative MedTech solutions to the industry's greatest challenges. There is a keynote session each day, Monday and Tuesday over lunch, Wednesday over breakfast. High-profile speakers that are covering issues of particular relevance to the MedTech industry as a whole. The Patient Pavilion provides some of the most inspiring content you'll see at the MedTech Conference. These are patient interviews with MedTech executives, patients whose lives have been completely transformed by the power of medical technology. That is a can't-miss stage. We also have our CEOs Unplugged series taking place on the MedTech campus. These are moderated discussions among CEOs and other C-suite executives, featuring discussions on topics that are impacting these leaders' entire businesses. You can expect to see content around artificial intelligence, digital transformation, patient outcomes, investment strategy, etc. So that's just to name a few, and I will give you a preview of some of those sessions as well in a moment. Something exciting here on this stage is sort of the diversity of roles that you can expect representing the industry on stage. Leaders from MedTech, from big tech, private equity, hospitals, all of these leaders are here to engage on this stage on issues of importance to their organizations and to the industry as a whole. There are so many topics covered at this event. This is a sampling here on this slide. I encourage you to head to the medtechconference.com, peruse the agenda, and see the vast content that you can anticipate in October. The other thing that I'll encourage you is to look at the schedule and see just how much content is available. Bring your teams. It's really important that you have the opportunity and that your teams have the opportunity to experience all of it, because there's so much going on at any one time. We don't want you to miss out. We do want you to get the most out of your MedTech Conference experience.
I'll ask you this question live, Nancy, as it came in. Thank you, Barbara. Are there any sessions on reimbursement?
Yes, we have an entire track dedicated to market access, payment, coverage, reimbursement, etc. You'll see a handful of payers on the program. You'll see a handful of very recent former CMS staff on the program. We are continuously engaging our government entities, CMS and otherwise, for their participation in the program as well. And I'll give you a little preview in a few slides there. But yes, market access is a very well represented content track that's inclusive of the reimbursement angle.
And one more question, not surprised by this one. Is there supply chain covered?
Supply chain is covered. We have a couple of panel sessions that will cover supply chain. We also have a CEOs Unplugged session covering supply chain. So 3 distinct opportunities to discuss various elements of supply chain, from creative solutions to overall company supply chain resilience. We'll get into the weeds a little bit on a couple of the panel sessions, a little bit more high level overall company strategy on another. So yeah, absolutely, supply chain will be represented. And when you do go to peruse the agenda online, you'll be able to sort and filter by those tracks. So if you search by, for example, market access payment reimbursement, you will find all of the sessions that are tagged in that manner. Same with supply chain. It's a designated track for you to select, sort, and filter on the agenda.
Awesome. All right, so we'll dive into Sunday.
Let's do that. Our Sunday programs continue to grow. We are kicking off this year with Doing Business Globally. This is a roughly half-day program that emphasizes country-specific presentations, focusing on accessing markets both in the US and around the world. We kick things off with lunch, moving into the US Market Access Seminar, which is a roughly 2-hour emphasis on the unique elements of accessing the US market and doing business here in the US. That will be followed by 20-minute presentations from a variety of countries, many of them represented here. I think there are 7 or 8 in total now confirmed to participate on this program. So again, those presentations are intended to provide information about the key elements of accessing those markets. Back again this year, the Pediatric Device Symposium. We know the PED space is unique. There are unique challenges, and many expert hands, eyes, brains on overcoming some of the challenges and the barriers to delivering life-changing, life-saving devices to children. We will be, this year's program will have an emphasis on pediatric device labeling. When you do go to register for the MedTech Conference, this is an add-on event. It's included in the cost of registration, but it is a Sunday program that you can add on just to tag your interest and plans to attend, should you be in the pediatric space and interested in attending. You can anticipate representation from US FDA and other industry experts on that program. Lifeblood MedTech CEO Forum is a curated program. Lifeblood is an executive search firm for growth stage companies, and their content and discussion points are specifically designed for CEOs. So again, when you register, you'll be able to find some more information about this particular add-on event as well. Again, free to participate. Specific criteria for participation includes their title as CEO, but also some additional information that may be helpful for you to understand if this is the right program for you. So do look into that. The AdvaMed Advanced program includes a panel that's in development with some of our industry group partners. We'll be sharing some more information about that soon, but stay tuned for that. But that will look like a panel session on Sunday. And then we've discussed the Pitch and Pour Startup Pitch Competition and Happy Hour. Again, back for this year on the heels of true success in San Diego last year. This is open to all attendees, and we do hope that you will attend. And then finally, we have the Global Welcome Reception. As I mentioned, this is really becoming our most widely attended networking event. It really kicks things off. It kicks a fantastic week off together. So open to all attendees, and we do encourage you to join us. That's at 6 o'clock on Sunday. So as you're registering and making your travel plans, make sure you're taking a look at all the Sunday programming and certainly the reception to participate with us. So let's take a look at some of the content that I'm so excited about. We made our announcement at the end of last week with the release of our full program online. This represents the culmination of a several-month process of collecting, reviewing, grading, analyzing, prioritizing over 300 session proposals received this year. All of these were reviewed by a team of over 100 MedTech experts with a commitment of their time to ensuring that the MedTech Conference features the very best in industry education. We owe an enormous debt of gratitude to our program committee for advising our team on the selection and the shaping of this year's truly unbelievable content. We've offered a preview here of some of the stellar panel sessions on the program this year, ranging from emerging markets and incorporating that into your global strategy, to investment in women's health, rural health transformation programs, certainly a hot topic within the digital space and market access space in the United States, payer perspectives on AI, where smart money is moving, kind of representative of the business strategies and finance element of the program, decentralized testing, we have an entire diagnostics track, IVD track, that will, in this case, address point of care changes and updates. So this is just a sampling of all the good stuff that's happening on the panel session front. There's so much more to see. So if you want to take a flip to the next slide, I did mention the CEO's Unplugged stage. This is the content taking place this year in the MedTech campus. These conversations, again, represent sort of that big picture perspective of on issues of importance for CEOs and other senior leaders on entire business, the issues that impact entire businesses. These are always compelling and offer a very unique opportunity from the executives that are at the forefront of MedTech. So we do encourage you to peruse the CEO's Unplugged content. You'll see lots of really great content there. Patient Pavilion, one of my very favorite stages at the conference. This stage features really inspiring interviews between MedTech executives and the brave patients whose lives have been transformed by the power of medical technology and innovation. New this year, we are featuring a couple of panel sessions on this stage. We're looking at innovative ways that MedTech companies are engaging patients in their product development and in their overall business strategy. The content on this stage provides a really important reminder of the why of what we do, the powerful impact of the MedTech industry. I can't say it enough. It's a truly inspiring stage. And this year, it's going to be bustling. It will be jam-packed. So lots of opportunity to hear from patients, hear from the executives that are interviewing those patients, and then from the companies that are leading patient engagement strategies. We can go ahead and move on to some speakers. So this year's lineup really does pack a very powerful punch. We are so thrilled to have representation, a strong representation from the Northeast, but certainly throughout the globe. Dr. Ann Klebanski is the CEO of Mass General Brigham. She will be joining Jeff Martha, the CEO of Medtronic, and Mike Mahoney, CEO of Boston Scientific, to discuss the shift in provider economics and its implications for medical technologies and for MedTech companies. So that's going to be a really great conversation. Prerna Dogra of NVIDIA will be joining us this year to discuss big tech and MedTech partnerships. We have Kevin Fu, probably a familiar name for those of you in the cyber world, certainly a cyber guru, former FDA and now a professor at Northeastern. He will, of course, be discussing cybersecurity issues for MedTech. Dr. Michelle Tarvers, the director of CDRH at FDA, she'll be with us on a few panels, but then also on a keynote session as well. She's also bringing several FDA staff, her leaders, to join us on several panels across the regulatory track. If we flip to the next slide, I can just re-emphasize again, so many stellar panelists this year. We're really excited about this lineup. So you can also search and sort our agenda online by speakers and the programs that they'll be on this year. So keep an eye out because there's some really, really great names. Let's go ahead to the main stage. So we're talking about keynotes here. Monday, our lunch keynote will be shared shortly. We're excited to share some more information about Monday, but you all will just have to stay tuned on that one. On Wednesday, backed by ever popular demand, the CDRH Town Hall. This each year features Dr. Michelle Tarver, the director of CDRH, and members of her leadership team that will discuss their priorities for the year ahead, and then engage in thoughtful discussion about the key regulatory issues that impact the MedTech industry. That keynote does take place over breakfast on Wednesday, so mark your calendars, plan to be there. You won't want to miss that program. Then, as promised,
the drum roll.
Everyone envision the drum roll. We promised you a really exciting keynote announcement this year. The moment has arrived. We are so thrilled to share this incredible all-star lineup for the Tuesday keynote. Pulse on MedTech on Tuesday. We have this incredible panel led by John Babbitt at EY. He'll be featuring their ever popular and growing session around their Pulse of the MedTech Industry report. John will share some of the key findings of EY's report on the state of the MedTech industry. And then he will be joined by Mick Farrell of ResMed, also our board chair. Ashley McAvoy of Insulet, and Mike Mahoney of Boston Scientific. And for this session, they'll be focusing on a few themes, three in particular: the business impact of innovation in AI technologies and the convergence with MedTech, the growing role of ambulatory surgical centers. We know this represents a powerful shift in care delivery, so we'll be having a good discussion around that. And then the long-term business strategy around mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures, always a really important component of that discussion. So it's going to be an outstanding conversation. Our whole team is really looking forward to this, and we can't wait to bring this conversation to the keynote stage on Tuesday. So with that, I hope that gives you all some motivation to peruse our agenda. I'll say it again. Please feel free to pop any additional questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. But otherwise, with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Erin.
Hey, Nancy, this really quickly. There was a question in the chat about FDA and CMS speakers, which I know you went over FDA very well and highlighted the CDRH town hall on Wednesday morning, as well as FDA throughout the program. What about CMS?
CMS has been invited to participate on several panels. We know that this is a very, very busy time for them right now, so we're navigating that patiently as they need to prioritize some of the rulemaking that really spins up at this time of year. They are invited for several sessions. We also have a few private payers represented on the program, and we have Tamara Sarek Jensen is probably a very familiar name to many of you on the call who are in that reimbursement space, former CMS, now at Rubrum Advising. She will be on the program as well, bringing some really great recent CMS sort of insights. So we are working towards securing CMS participation, but that is in progress just based on their own workloads and abilities to prioritize conference activity during an active rulemaking period. Thanks for that question. It's a good one.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you, Nancy. Awesome update, and I really appreciate that. The names and the companies participating are really impressive. And just my observation after going to the conference for a number of years is that not only are they speaking on stage, but they spend quality time within the conference across the MedTech campus, where you have the opportunity to potentially meet them, right? So it is kind of unique in the event space. Sometimes they kind of flee, but our CEOs do hang around and network quite a bit. All right, so we know that time is precious and that you have to make hard decisions when it comes to your time. So we want to make sure you have all the resources you need as you navigate the event and ideally make the decision to attend. So one of the things that we will share with you next month in a couple of weeks is our attendee list preview. But this officially is the first reveal. So you guys are seeing it here first. Just wanted to share a sampling of titles and companies who are already signed up this year. We have Jetro, Johnson & Johnson, Columbia University, a sampling of titles from international programs, chief operating officer, you name it. So we encourage you, if you haven't registered yet, you will join this list and it will be published. Again, no names, just titles and companies. And then here's kind of the second half, just to give you a sampling of the different companies represented. I know we've talked a lot about small companies, large medtech, but the university presence, the government presence is definitely throughout the conference and continues to grow. So stay tuned for our attendee list next month. And then want to make sure that you have a planning timeline so you don't miss anything important. So here we are at the end of July. I can't believe it's going to be August next week, but a lot happens in August that you should be aware of. And the number one thing is please, please, please register by August 6th to make sure you get maximum savings. I'll give you a rundown of what that pricing looks like based on your company size. So please do that. The startup pitch application deadline. If you're not a startup, but you know one, go ahead and send that over to them and encourage them to apply. And then the company list. I talked about how 1,800 companies will plan to join us. We will have that published, and that's where you can kind of see who they are and where they will be activated throughout the conference. And then, of course, Nancy gave you guys the first preview of two of our keynotes. We will be announcing the third one later in August. And then come September, that's really when we encourage you to start scheduling your plans. Use our partnering system to both plan your education, browse the speakers, schedule the things that you know are important, and then leave time open to request and schedule meetings. That one-on-one partnering space is really bustling. And then, of course, we want to make sure you're prepared and armed with how to navigate the partnering system. So that webinar will be on September 15th. And then, of course, working our way to the end of September is our housing deadline. But we definitely encourage you to register and book your housing earlier than that to make sure you're locked and loaded. And it's really easy to just walk across the street to the convention center. And then everything culminates in October, obviously, in Boston. So wanted to give you kind of a highlight of the hotels that we offer. We have 5 hotel options, really great, adjacent to the bustling seaport area. If you haven't been back in a year or two, it keeps growing, expanding. It's really a hot, cool area with lots to do and very walkable. So definitely encourage you to book with us. And that makes sure that you lock in a really preferred rate that AdvaMed has negotiated for you. So as far as Boston, I think many of you know this because you've probably been to Boston before, but really easy once you land at the Boston Logan Airport. Really easy to get down to the Boston Convention Center with that little traffic asterisk there. Boston traffic can be fun sometimes. But this kind of gives you that perspective of the amazing strength of, Boston itself from being, a tremendous historical city to really a MedTech and healthcare hub. So many of our members, our sponsors, have an office or a headquarters located there. So definitely encourage you to take a look at that and plan to be with us in Boston. And with a few minutes left, I wanted to draw your eye to navigating our early bird rates. AdvaMed members always lock in the lowest rate. We really want to say thank you and for your support year round by offering you that. So small companies can register for $1,000 when they lock in before August 6th. And then kind of working its way up to service providers. And then government, hospital, and nonprofit get a really great rate as well. And then for different applications, obviously we have a good representation from media. We already talked about investors. But if you know anybody who is in the hospital space from the executive level, we do have an application online if they're interested, and that would be complimentary, as well as public officials are as well. And we do have a new program that I didn't talk about yet this year. It's our Chief Medical Officer program. So you will see a cohort of medical officers from some of our large MedTech companies. So encourage them to join us as well. And then if you're a student, a student, somebody who's really a rising star or interested in figuring out if MedTech's for them, we've really seen some brilliant engineers and students come through who are just really inspiring to see. And we want to make sure they have a place there. And then within your company, if there's somebody who's new to MedTech, maybe shifted over, there is an early career option to get them exposure to the amazing world of MedTech. So I will leave you with this checklist. We've gone over a number of it, but my number one ask right now is take out your phone and scan that QR code and follow us on LinkedIn. So we really do try to make sure that you have all the information you need, personal perspective, tips and tricks. We have insights from leaders that are joining us that we share there. And that's really where the conversation really starts to blow up over the next few weeks and months. So we encourage you to follow us there. And then that's where you can meet a number of AdvaMed staff. And we are always available. If you have any questions or need something, we're there on LinkedIn. And then as far as a toolkit, whether you're an exhibitor, speaker, you're interested in sharing about our next gen opportunities, we have a really great toolkit that we'll put in the chat for you when you are talking about your participation. And so with that, I think we have about 10 minutes left or so. So we'd like to open the floor. So you have me answering questions, Nancy, and then Beth on the line who oversees our investor and company presentation, among other things around small companies. So you have a team online if you guys have any more questions.
Erin, one of the questions I answered in the Q&A, but just to reiterate to people, someone was asking when they should plan to arrive and depart. Um, so my advice was, depending on where you're coming from, try to be there Sunday morning, get in early, either Saturday night or Sunday morning for the full day of Sunday programming. And then things wrap up around Wednesday around 12:30. So you should probably be able to get out Wednesday afternoon. We do have shoulder nights as part of our hotel block, so people can check in Saturday to be there for Sunday morning. So I just wanted to add that for everyone else as they're thinking about their flights and hotel accommodations.
Yes, that's a great note. Thank you, Beth. I think we have a question from a student around opportunities to present their research as a poster or an oral presentation. Not to my knowledge yet, but we will take that feedback and we will bring it back to our team member, Sarah, who oversees that program. Again, we're always welcoming feedback on how we can be a resource. So we'll take that back. But this year, we don't have that opportunity yet for students. All right. You're welcome. All right, so I wanted to leave you with our theme that we chose this year around MedTech Moves Us, literally and figuratively. So we're inspired by the industry that we serve, by the patients that we serve, and then, of course, the community that we serve, and bringing you guys together face to face. So we're thrilled that you're considering joining us. We hope that you will take this information back to your teams. Feel free to ask us any questions. We have team members available to help you with your decision. Again, we're hosting 4,000 people in Boston in under 3 months, and we look forward to meeting you and seeing you very soon. All right. And with that, thank you, and we'll see you in a few months. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.